Hey guys, welcome back. This is Real Estate Uncensored. I have a returning guest, Mr. Derrick Evans. He's a mortgage phenom out of San Diego. He's an ex-real estate TV show star, ex-radio mortgage star out of San Diego. He is gracing us with his presence here today. I had to beg, I had to plead, I had to bribe him to come on to the show. He finally agreed after Gene would wash his car with rocks a couple of times a week. He's going to fly all the way in from Philly. It's phenomenal. But he's all joking aside, Derrick is going to really talk about kind of what he's seen successful on the mortgage side, what agents can put into success for the real estate side. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hang on to your hats, a lot of stuff to take notes on. But first, Mr. Gene Volpe, the Evil Bald Ninja, what's up, dude?
What's up, big dog? I guess I hope on this episode, if I get anything out of it, I want to know what a phenom is. That would be good.
A phenom. It's phenomenal, but short. Come on. I mean,
I love to know what a phenom is.
Come on, we'll LOL, FM, fuck my life, FML, whatever it is. I mean, it's an abbreviation for being amazing. He's a phenom. He's phenomenal. He's an anomaly.
All right, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. That actually really is just water, by the way. Mr. Derrick Evans, welcome to the show, my friend. Thanks for coming back on.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's good to be here. I always have a lot to say, so you let me know. And I'm ready to go.
We're going to unleash the beast in you really quickly. You know, some of the stuff we're talking about in pre-show, there's a lot of things that I didn't even know. We talked for 5 or 6 minutes in regards to kind of lending, the mortgage side, you know, with your old TV shows and radio shows and stuff along those lines. You've made a pivot to something that everybody has access to. Even with your media background, you're slightly hesitant in regards to if this is going to work. I want to get into that in a second, but I really want to tackle something that maybe, and I didn't know this. On the mortgage side, the lenders they're in trouble. Walk us through that a little bit so we know how to potentially help our clients work with good lenders like yourself to air quotes opt out if something went wrong. So why are the mortgage houses in trouble, and how do you opt out?
So essentially volume's down, right? And if you're a big mortgage company, then you're making a volume play. You're expecting to do lots of loans. And so when volume is down, first thing that happens is you have to lay off operations people, have to figure out how to make things work. You have fixed costs for office space and things like that you have to sort out. And so on a macro scale, a lot of these lenders are in really big trouble. We've seen it on the real estate side too. A lot of the big companies are not profitable. That's not usually true on the mortgage end. And it's starting to become that way. Even like the biggest mortgage broker in the nation, UWM, lost like $90 million last quarter. So, you know, even the people who are doing good things and doing things right, losing money at this stage. What does that mean? That means that a lot of the mid small shops are really struggling. These are the ones that have higher costs because they have office space, they have lots of employees, call centers, that kind of thing. So what's happening right now is they're really fighting for their lives, and what's called trigger leads have become a really, really big thing again. And this is where if you are on a credit bureau marketing list, in other words, if you have not opted out, you are opted in. Hate to break the news. Don't shoot the messenger here. This is just how it works. You're opted in until you opt out. They'll get your name somewhere along the line, some point you signed up for a credit card or something, and they got your permission to go on this list. Now you're on this list. So when you get your credit pulled for a mortgage, boom, they sell your information to other mortgage companies saying, hey, this person is looking for a mortgage. Might want to give them a call. These call centers all bombard you. When I pull someone's credit, 100 people will call them within 24 hours. I mean, absolutely melt their phone, drive them crazy, pushes buyers away in some cases. Like, whoa, this is insane. What is going on? They blame me. Some cases they're like, hey, it wasn't until I gave my information to you that this started. But the truth is, it's the credit bureaus that are selling your information, and they have the legal permission to do so until you opt out. And so you have to go to optoutprescreen.com. That's the website, optoutprescreen.com. Opt yourself out of this. It'll reduce your junk mail. It'll keep them from sending you pre-screen offers. It'll keep them from melting your phone when you apply for a mortgage. It'll keep your information safe as well. You can electronically opt out for 5 years by just going to that website. You can do it in like 2 minutes. Okay, you do have to put your information in there. That is a credit bureau website. So you do have to put your social and stuff like that in there. It's okay to do that, right? It's all right to do that. That site is safe. Optoutprescreen.com. Put your information in there. You can opt out for 5 years. Then you have to print out a sheet and mail it in to do a lifetime opt out. And that's the hack. So that will help protect your information, your privacy, all your financial vitals, your social, all that stuff goes to these people. Your credit scores, your income, they know everything whenever they sell this data to these individuals. So I highly recommend that everyone do that. Whether you're applying for a mortgage right now or not, everyone should opt out so that your information cannot be sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah, that does not sound fun in the absolute slightest. I'm actually pulling up the screen right now for opt out. That's the one we're looking at, right?
Yep.
.com, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, everyone's kind of in there. So I'm on the site right now. Walk me through what I would do next to make sure I do not get hassled this much.
Yeah. So scroll down at the bottom. It'll say something like click here to opt in or opt out, like anyone wants to opt in.
Okay. Then you enter your name, your address, social security number, and date of birth. It's freaking simple.
So look, it's automatically click to opt in right there. So you have to make sure that you select electronic opt out for 5 years and do that one, and then come back and do the permanent opt out by mail after you do that one. So when you click that one, you go in, put your information, confirm it, boom, and you can do it right there electronically. It doesn't take very long. But
is there any negative that comes from that? Is there any reason you would want to stay pre-screened?
The only reason you'd want to is if you want to be hassled for like credit offers.
Got it.
If you enjoy getting postcards that say you're pre-qualified for a loan for a business loan or whatever, like all that stuff, that's what comes from it. And so there is no benefit other than just being hassled.
So let me ask you this, because I have a buddy of mine in San Francisco that he's like the points king of points kings. He probably has 15 plus credit cards, and he'll go buy a stick of gum, a thing of gas, whatever it is, just to keep those points. And once it's time to get rid of that credit card, he'll close his account, keep his points, and move on. So he loves getting those notices. Does that help when it comes to getting a mortgage to say, hey, Derrick, I have 211 credit cards, but I've killed 200 of them and I only have 11 more. Is that a good thing?
Not necessarily good or bad.
Okay.
You can open, credit card accounts and close them. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It may not help you, may not hurt you much. What you really want to see on your credit is, long-standing accounts that have good payment history and low balances. That's what the credit scoring algorithm wants to see. But you can do stuff like that. It's fine. As long as you're not carrying a balance on your credit cards, that can really bring your credit score down sort of unnecessarily. Now, the hack with that is if you are going to do like points and, like we use a Southwest card and it's been amazing. We have Companion, A-List. It's amazing. We pay for everything with that. I recommend just using one card and doing it that way so you can get the maximum benefits that they offer. But the main thing with doing that is if you're going to, use a credit card for everything every month, you have to pay attention to the statement ending date. Because let's say you have a $10,000 balance and you rack up $8,000, a $10,000 limit, you rack up $8,000 during the month. If you wait until you get the bill, they've already reported it to credit. So when you get your bill and it says, hey, you owe $8,000 and you go and you pay it off, the credit bureau and your credit score never sees that. The credit bureau gets your bill showing that you owe $8,000 out of the $10,000 limit. So that hurts your credit score. It looks like you have 80% utilization, even though you paid it off one day later. So what you really want to do is you want to pay it off before the statement ending date so that it's reported to the bureaus that you have a zero balance when the statement ends, and that will help your credit score stay higher.
Well, I'm screwed. I have a bank account statements right here, and I'm like, well, fuck, what is he talking about? I'm up here, upper right hand, it says ending 6/16. Well, shit, I should probably check my mail more. They think I'm going to have, which I've already paid off. What is this, like a $2,000 bill, part of my credit card? I'm like, oh, guess I now I know. So if you know you're going to get your ending statement on the 20th, make a conscious decision. Do what, the 18th, the 19th, the morning of the 20th, the 10th. I mean, what are we talking about here?
A couple business days before, yeah. So you want to set that. What I do is set a reminder for each one, because I have a couple others as well that we use sparingly. And I'll set a reminder 5 calendar days before the statement ending date for each one. So I can go check it, see, okay, when do I need to make the payment, go wipe it out, and just have plenty of time to make sure the balance is actually zero on the statement ending date and it gets reported as zero. It still shows activity on the account. So the credit scoring model doesn't just want to see a zero balance. It wants to see activity too. If you don't have any activity on the account for 6 months, then you're not going to get credit for that account anymore. So once the activity, but also the low balance, that's how you win on both ends.
It's like putting a chess piece, a puzzle together, being blind and no hands. You really don't know what puzzle piece to put where until they have guidance from someone like yourself. I know Gene does a lot of work with a bunch of lenders as well. Do you know, you seen something similar? You kind of seeing these lending shops kind of pivot a little bit right now, or what are you seeing on your side?
Not a little bit. Yeah, no, a whole lot. I mean, it's yeah, he nailed it. I mean, Derrick nailed it. They're cutting back staff, underwriters, marketing, dinners. You know what I mean? Like when you see the credit cards get squeezed a little bit. No, this is a crazy time. I say, Greg, you know this. We talked about this cyclical nature of real estate before. This is the cleansing moment. This is one of those cleansing moments that comes along every 10 to 15 years where you'll see a huge drop in the number of real estate agents that are active. You'll see a huge number of drops of loan officers that are active. It weeds out the bottom of the barrel, if you will, folks that aren't making enough money to cover their dues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Seems to me like this is the long play. The economy's messing with everybody. It feels to me like it's taken longer than past events, but I think after another 12 to 24 months, we're going to see that the loan officer field is thinned to the best and the brightest, and the real estate agent field is thinned to the best and the brightest, I think.
Interesting. You know, that I would tend to agree with you guys. I didn't know the mortgage side was in such dire straits at this moment. I know the real estate agent's mindset is panic. Guys, we are recording this on 6/28/23, so take that into respect, whoever's listening to this down the road. But as of this recording, I mean, people are losing their marbles because everyone's like, oh my God, I have like no deals. And Derrick, you and I were talking off air about how a lot of, the pipelines for a lot of lenders are pretty short. And so I call my group of assassins, our dear good friend and a very good friend of mine, Mr. Aaron Wittenstein, who founded the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook page. He got together a couple of us callers, and we have this secret little group that we call, like, we're literally running all day long doing calls. Someone's doing calls somewhere, and we all encourage each other. And in that group, and then the last probably 4 to 5 weeks, every single person is taking listings and their pipeline is growing to the point where a lot, our youngest one, Mark with a C, we call him Mr. Mark Green. He's hilarious. He's 21 years old, full of spit and vinegar, and he actually just got 3 listings actually from doing cold calls. So point of this long, drawn out, comment here is that with the lack mindset that a lot of people are having, I'm seeing agents come together in ways I've never seen them come together and encourage each other and legitimately pass off information to get the next person's business to grow. Is lending seeing that? And if you guys aren't, how should it start? Derrick, I'm going to defer to you on that one real quick.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there is the same level of camaraderie in general in the mortgage business. And what actually ends up happening in times like this is, you may notice this as an agent, agents start getting calls, all kinds of calls, not just from lenders, but from companies that make calls on behalf of lenders. Hey, Greg, I'm calling on behalf of Derrick, who wants to meet with you for coffee, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And you start seeing stuff like that, which to me is just, it's people not understanding a market cycle. If you are sitting here right now going, well, the market is soft, so I'm going to put more money, I'm going to just do more of everything. I'm going to, spend more money on marketing. I'm going to make more calls to people. I'm going to be more annoying. I don't think that is the proper way to approach it personally. Now, should you go deeper? Should you touch your sphere more? Should you look for ways to add more value to your high value partners? 100%. But trying to cast a wider net is a really difficult way to go. It's a very risky way to go. Some people who have billboard money, might be able to go and do that. And try to cast a wide net and try to catch the small amount of fish who need to sell their home in the next 30 days or buy a home in the next 30 days. But for the most part, I think that what people actually really need to do in times like these is be more careful with their budget, be more careful with their money, try to be more efficient, use more elbow grease. Like in your case, you can make more calls to homeowners. You could say, okay, well, I'm making 100 calls a day, I'll do 150. And that's not really doing anything crazy, but you're amping things up a little bit. Your return is going to be less. Your conversion rate is going to be down. A lot of the big marketing guys that I know, big agents and lenders have cut their marketing budgets back 50 to 75%.
Yeah.
They're not going to sit there and just throw money at it. But I can't tell you how many individual agents who probably never spend money on marketing have reached out to me and been like, hey, want to throw $5,000 at something? Like, I'd rather put it on black, to be honest with you, because that's basically what you're doing, except for you're wanting to do a whole bunch of work to lose this money probably. And so I would rather just toss it on the table and see if we win. But it's not the right time to say, let's develop a marketing plan. However, it is a good time to look at plans that are elbow grease. Hey, am I touching my sphere? Am I touching my past clients? Whenever I get an alert that, hey, your past client has a birthday today, I always tell the agent, hey, just so you know, Bob Smith's birthday is today. Just so I'm making the touch. I know I'm reaching out. I'm not sure if you are or not. Are we doing all those things? Maybe it's the right time to take a step back and go, what are the things that I'm not doing that I wish I was doing? What are the ideas that I had when the market was good? Because that's when you have your best marketing ideas. That's when marketing is the best, when the market's good. Not when sentiment's bad. Not when there's no inventory. Not when rates are up. Not when buyers are discouraged. That's not the best time, to go and try to spend money on marketing. So I would just say, look at how can you spend your time and energy on your sphere, on your past clients, on the people that you can touch for free, just with your own effort, and not throw money at stuff right here, because we don't know how long volume will be scarce, but it could be a while. It could be years.
So what you're saying is, I think it's really powerful. And I don't want people to understand this, and maybe I misunderstood it. I hope I didn't. You're not saying stop marketing. You're saying stop throwing money at marketing. So build the relationships, go deeper, find that pain point for the individuals, exercise a plan of attack, and then solve that problem for them. And like for Mike calls it, right? So we're seeing the same thing that you're seeing. Gene, what are you playing, like Invisible Man over there? You can see your lips and your eyes. You fucking
dude,
psycho.
it's kind of weird. My cam studio is going nuts, bro. I just had to kill
saw
it.
that too, right?
I was freaking out, man.
Wait, hold on. I think this was it. Wait. Let me get.
Oh my God.
Was it this?
Nope. Okay, Tiger Princess, put it away. What is dancing on your head? Is it a dog?
It's a frog. Oh, it's a cat.
It's a cat. Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it, Gene. Get the cat off your head. Derek's like, this is the most unprofessional conversation I've ever had in my life.
Gosh, that's great.
I gotta mess with that later. Anyways, the thing is that we're doing is that we're seeing for for sale by owners, for rent by owners, expireds. Those were hot buttons for a while. We have seen a dramatic shift, and what a lot of people don't know they can call around is something I started doing years ago. And now my whole assassin squad, I call them my assassin squad, but the assassin squad, they're calling it. And what we do is a very simple methodology is, if you don't have a listing, if you're new in the business, you haven't had a closing in a while, you don't have a new listing, you're like, what the heck am I going to call about? Here's the trick, guys. Go look into your MLS, find the highest priced home in the shortest amount of days on market, pull that out, pull that information out, call the listing agent, say, hey, Gene, hey, I just saw you put 12 Maple Street pending, bro. Congratulations. That was a kicking looking house. Hey, by any chance, how many offers did you guys get on that? 1, 3, 5, 10, 1,000, doesn't matter what the number is. Take that information, then use your that home as a center point, and then I do 300 homes in a radius around it, and I call and say, hey, my name is Greg McDaniel with EXP Realty. I'm sure you've seen the home at 11 or 12 Maple Street for sale. It actually went pending yesterday. They had 4 offers on it. As you know, one family can get it. That means we have 3 active buyers hunting in your neighborhood. If I could drop a bag of cash at your feet, what would that number look like? And people go, well, if there's buyers, I've been hearing about it. And the conversation starts. And for us at this moment, that seems to be the go deeper play. And then build in with your relationship, continuing build through your database, and then stay consistent, stay strong. Derek and Gene, both of you guys, if you stop, you die. So is there an even blend there? Gene, with your marketing side, are you seeing that a lot of people are still marketing, but marketing in a different way? Or are they frozen in time right now? Are they running like a scared cat in a rainstorm? What are they doing?
Yeah, I think it differs. So you got me thinking. I'm all across the board, right? This economy is affecting everybody, all businesses everywhere, not just real estate and mortgages. So
Right.
I don't know. I think it depends on who you are. Like, I know we go back to this a lot. It's like the folks that are flush with cash continue to do what they do. And in certain cases, they do it harder because they know that there's going to be an opening in the market, right? We talked about that before. It's like Pepsi makes X amount of billions of dollars a year. They don't stop advertising. They get the top spot on the Super Bowl commercial. That's because they know they run a business the right way, and they know how to put marketing dollars aside when things are good, so they can continue to spend marketing dollars when things aren't so great. So, the top echelon right now isn't changing the way they do business. The folks at the bottom are scrambling. I mean, and that's for your pizza shop down the street all the way up to your real estate agent. I mean, it differs. I think it depends on who you're dealing with. Greg, you remember we went through this whole thing with in the beginning of COVID, and as a marketing agency, I feel like marketing agency is always the second thing to get cut behind, probably the first thing to get cut before insurance. Like when things get tough, what do they always say? The insurance policy goes, right? It's the first thing you let go when you don't have enough cash. Marketing services are one of those things too for companies that don't believe they need it or don't have in-house. So when this whole thing happened with COVID in 2019, 2020, I started getting phone calls, and the phone calls made me nervous because I was like, within 2 weeks, my whole revenue stream could be gone. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there were two types of people that made the phone calls. The first one was, hey, listen, I got to cut back. This monthly marketing nut for me is too heavy to carry. And the other folks, I just thought it was going to keep coming like that. And then the other folks were like, no. I'm doubling down on the marketing, dude. People are getting weak in the space, and I need to get my name out there more often. And I made a differentiation in the space. And I think we talked about this on the show where I was like, I am going to start focusing my business towards what the hell were they called? Somebody's business who was required to keep running. An essential. Remember they had that
an essential
thing?
Business, yeah.
Essential business. I couldn't think of the word. So in my world, there's always going to be essential businesses, and those are the ones I'm targeting to. But in a time where there's not a catastrophe like COVID, my definition of essential business is somebody who's running their business properly, so they have cash stashed for when things get slim. That make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes total sense. Derrick, you pivoted from mainstream radio and TV, but you went somewhere and you found it very, very, very profitable and easy to kind of implement into your business. What is that tool that you put into business?
For the mortgage side?
Yeah, for the mortgage side that we talked about in pre-show, that has just been incredible for you.
Oh yeah, doing reels for sure. I also have an idea for you on the real estate side. Don't let me forget.
Ooh. I won't, trust me.
Buddy of mine gave me permission to share it, so I shared it with all my peeps a couple weeks ago. But yeah, for me, reels have been a very big deal. And I'm a long form guy. I did radio, did TV. I used to go into studio. I built a studio. I got rid of it, but I had it for a long time. I would go in, I would do my show, do all this long form stuff. It just took a lot of time. And I realized that, time is crucial from an executional standpoint, and people are really taking information in bite-size, snippets these days. What I noticed was when you go to the airport, you look around, people are looking at their phones, people are scrolling through reels, TikToks. I call it the TikTok phenomenon.
It is.
They want short form, videos. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. So I just did a couple like random ones, and immediately they were just lighting up. So I was like, okay, I got to do this. So I started doing my little update. I basically just do mortgage rates in my opinion. Here's what mortgage rates are today. Here's my opinion on what's going to happen next with that, the real estate market, or this article that everyone's talking about, whatever. And I keep it to 60 seconds or less. And that's been really, really good for me to get visibility, to stay in touch with people. I think the nice thing about doing those, if you do them, is that you can also use those as a touch point. So like, for example, yesterday was a follow-up day for me. I follow up with all my hot leads on Tuesdays. Well, I made a video of what's going on in the market, which I'm posting on all my social media, and then I'm sending that to all those people. So I'm using it as hey, I just did a market update today. You want to check it out? Here it is. That way, those people also subscribe and like and do things like that. So I'm getting multiple use cases out of it. You can do the same thing with your Sphere past clients. Well, you can do 5 or 10 of those a day. When you make a video, use that, market that, text that out to those people, email that to people, because it gets you more views coming in from different directions, which is good for the algorithm. And it's also helpful for you to build followers, get likes, comments, etc. So I think just, it takes me, and I taught a class, by the way, Greg, for realtors here in San Diego. And I showed him live. I said, okay, it's a whole class about how to do reels. And I did it live. I recorded it and I posted it to 6 different places in less than 7 minutes while I was explaining it. So I shot the video, edited it, posted it to 6 different places, all while I was explaining every step of the way, all in under 7 minutes. So, and I said I would be able to do it in under 5, but I think because I was explaining it, it took me a couple extra minutes. But it takes almost no time to do it if you're already doing the research and already paying attention to the content that you're going to be creating.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that if you're not doing, that's one of those things I would say now's the time. Okay, you have a little bit of extra time. Don't get antsy to go write a bunch of checks, but think about how can I do something that I know I should be doing, that I've always said I should be doing this, and I finally have the time to develop a strategy for it. Now's the time to do it.
Dude, okay, I really hate you right now because you're totally speaking the truth. I went and I did Facebook Reels, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I think it's right. Anyways, I went and did one yesterday about something like just eight words to live by. And I was just messing around, right? I mean, for me, it's kind of a lot. 544 views, but I got those within an hour, 3 hours, and then kind of about 300, and then kind of rolled in for the other 500. I don't really do them a lot, so I'm not going to get a good response. But I mean, we only have a few more minutes left on the show. If for guys who have been this far or just getting in, Derrick at DerrickEvans.com. Against Derrick at DerrickEvans.com. If you give him a mortgage, he'll give you a tactic to keep your mortgage flowing, aka yours and your clients.
There you go.
I just came up with that pretty good. I kind of like it. So for your reels, here's something that Gene introduced me to. This is a little microphone setup. It's called the Hollyland microphone set. This is your microphone. There's 2 of them. Comes in this little case, right? So you can have 2 people wireless up to like 600 feet. This is all that you attach to your phone or to your camera, and you can have almost professional grade audio for about $115, $150.
Wow.
The thing to do your reels, shitballs, is that you can be on camera with somebody sitting in the lens shot, having a discussion like a news or radio show, and be, for $150 you can create and shoot something. And Derrick, no, I know you have all the equipment over there that someone would need, but these things for $150 are just insane. Because I've never seen anyone do reels that could be 60 seconds long with a 2-person shoot.
That's sick. I love that.
I mean, how cool would that be, right?
Yeah.
And you thank the bald ninja for that one. He's the one that told me about these mics. For sure, we should get paid for this.
I got one more idea for you, Greg.
Yo,
if you want it. So
let's do it.
So this is one that will resonate with a lot of agents and others. So some people would just be like, oh my God. And others will be like, oh, I don't have that. But during COVID, a lot of people did a lot of real estate business. So a lot of realtors were doing well, selling a lot of homes during that time. But what wasn't happening, which was happening prior to that, was housewarming parties. So I have a buddy who had been following up, and he took this slow time, basically took my advice and was like, oh, what's my wish list? What are the things that I wish I was doing that I had built up when I was busy and now I'm not busy so I can do it? It was housewarming parties. So he started circling back to all the people that he sold homes to during COVID who never probably had a housewarming party. Say, hey, did you ever have a housewarming party? COVID's over now. And what he's getting overwhelming responses was no, because of COVID, or we did, but a bunch of people didn't come because of COVID. And so he's going, hey, let's do it right. Let's do it. Let's get you a real housewarming party. I know it's 2 years later, 3 years later. Let's throw an actual housewarming party. Let's get your friends there. I'll bartend. I'll bring drinks, and I'll send the invitations. So he gets all of their friends' data. He gets to meet everybody because everyone is going to get a drink. And he gets to be the guy who put this together and made this house happen. And it's been working really well for him. He did 4. He's done 4 of them. He has several others scheduled. He's absolutely buried in real estate conversations. It's costing him very little. And he's got all the data. So like, when you go to some of those things and you're like, oh, I remember talking to this guy. His name was Matt. Oh, I can't remember who he was or what. he already has all the data. So he can be like, okay, who do I have in here that's Matt? All right, I know who Matt is. I had a conversation with him. Here's his phone number. Here's his email. I'm going to reach out. Hey, Matt, great to chat with you, blah, blah, blah. So he's already got it. And that has been something that's really, really working for him. And I shared that with my peeps recently.
Great idea.
And some people are starting down the executional path on that. But a lot of people didn't have housewarming parties. Back to the old school stuff, right? Rubbing elbows, getting in front of people, talking to people, getting credit for being the one to make this all happen. I think it's stuff like that, ideas like that right now could work really well.
So
that is awesome. Go ahead, Gene. Then we're going to wrap with yours.
Party planner, drinker, and eater while you hand out your business cards. It sounds fun to me. Seriously, can you imagine me making drinks at somebody's house? Like, talking?
Well, we would just have a line of Ubers lined up. Oh, all right, Steve, back in the Uber. Let's go, buddy. Awesome. I know it was Gene again. I know. Look, Derek's got to run. I got to run. We both got to do some stuff, but I'm going to have him back, guys. He has a lot of ideas, but that we're going to leave it on one last thought. Is what are the reels for real estate agents? And that would be a hook that you can either tell them or they have to get a hold of you. What would you prefer?
Reels for real estate agents?
Yeah, you said that you have an idea for reels, and you said, don't let me forget.
Oh, yeah, no, that's so I actually have a whole, if you want a copy of the presentation. So I did a whole event around this, which is literally it's called a step-by-step guide for how to do reels for real estate. I have it. It's a PDF. I can send it to you. Email me if you'd like a copy of it. I'll send it to you along with my notes in the presentation. It's all very, very step-by-step. So it's a lot of slides. It shows you exactly what to do, how to create it, how to post it, what to say, how to come up with what to say. I have like 60 different links of where to get ideas for content for different real estate blogs and things like that. So it's basically everything you need right there.
I'll take 2.
Yeah, right.
I appreciate that. Oh my God. All right, guys. If you guys want to get a hold of him, please go to Derrick@DerrickEvans.com. That's what he has up there. Derrick, if they're not email savvy, is that the only way to get a hold of you, or is it a QR code, phone number, carrier pigeon? You know, what do you prefer?
You can always call or text me 619-952-2046.
That's it, guys. Gene, how can people get a hold of you?
I'm busy, man.
You are the worst fucking marketer. You're not coming back on the show. God damn it. All right. Goodbye. Fuck him. All right. No, sorry. I love him. I can't do it. I love him. Guys, go to Gene Volpe, the Gene Volpe. Check it out. He's a phenomenal marketer. He doesn't talk about it, but he really freaking should. I've been yelling at him for 6+ years and he still doesn't listen. He's like the worst 13-year-old ever.
True.
But Derrick, again, phone number, email where they can reach you. Thank you for coming on. Guys, go ahead and get that download for baby Jesus' sake. Get that download because that is something truly interesting and you will stand out. And if you don't do it, you can be an average agent or you can be an outstanding agent like Derrick, soon to be myself, because I'm going to follow Derrick's lead and do these reels the way it's supposed to be done. And we get the visibility that you deserve, ladies and gentlemen, because you guys are worth it. Gene, quickly, bow on the show. Derrick, think about a color on the bow for the show, and we are out of here. Gene, you're up first.
We're talking mortgages, so let's go money green.
Money green. All right, works for me. Derrick, what's a good color for you?
I like orange.
You're looking behind Gene, aren't you?
I just like orange. I
do too. I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
All right, there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We cannot do this show without you. So, honestly, I appreciate every single one of you. Please like, share, and follow all of us on all of our different platforms. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. The area code 925-915-1978. You heard it for 7 years, so hopefully you guys remember it by now. Get a hold of Gene at the Gene Volpe and get some information there. Derrick, you're an awesome human being. Thank you for your very, very expensive time. And boys and girls, we will see you guys on the next show. Peace out, ninjas.
Take care, fellas.
We go.